It's a big heart. Heather's got a big heart.
I do.
The lid's not on all the way.
I know, I had to break it earlier. I had to break it earlier because it wouldn't work.
What is it?
Probably ready to get now. No, everything like that?
She's going to lay down. I think so afterwards. She called me like at 8:30 in the morning. I want her wrong. Are you okay? I'm okay.
Nice picture of your hind end there, Heather.
Oh no, Christmas I can't. We all it yesterday. It's okay.
You don't have to have you had two seconds on the like that.
Okay. You guys need help with that? Got it?
I just want a picture of you, you know.
Have our Facebook.
I gotta post it all over Facebook.
This is our lovely teacher, Dr. Nord.
Yes, this is Dr. Nord.
Want me to hit the light? Yes. And then I'll put you
Tiana, what did you get out of here? Okay, so all you're going to do... Yes. No. All you're going to press that and then it'll turn red. That means it's recording. That's a test.
So I guess you don't need my recording, huh, Heather?
No,
Not good enough for you?
No, I want it because if mine goes out. Okay?
Okay.
You want me to record you or just the heart?
Everything.
Oh, all of us. Her.
Oh, no.
Record me. I would be fighting with you. Record me. I'm very impressed. Is that that? Is that that?
Are y'all ready?
Just like...
Are y'all ready?
It's okay if your voice is in it, though, right? Because we really can't help that.
No.
And if you walk in front of my phone, I can't help that either.
Okay, our project is on mitral valve insufficiency. Now, my part, what I'm going to do is, because nobody in the class knows the function of the heart, I know, because it was from how many quarters ago? So, and I'm going to explain exactly how the heart goes. I built this beautiful, lovely thing here. Hopefully it looks like a heart, you know?
I hope.
I was going to say a little before I did it. Your heart is a pump. It's a muscular organ about the size of your fist, located slightly left center of your chest. You'll hear this throughout the whole thing. So, your heart is divided into the right and left side. The division protects oxygen-rich blood from mixing with oxygen-poor blood. Together, your heart and blood vessels comprise your cardiovascular system, which circulates blood and oxygen around your body. And the fact about the heart is, your heart pumps about 5 quarts of blood every minute, and they say that you get it beats 100,000 times in one day, so that's about 35 million times in a year. Oxygen poor blood, the blue blood, returns to the heart after circulating through your body. The right side of the heart, composed of the right atrium and ventricle, collects and pumps blood to the lungs through the pulmonary arteries. The lungs refresh the blood with a new supply of oxygen and making it turn red. Oxygen-rich blood, red blood, then enters the left side of the heart, composed of the left atrium and ventricle, and is pumped through the aorta to the heart to supply tissues with oxygen. 4 valves within your heart keep your blood moving the right way. The tricuspid, mitral, pulmonary, and aortic valves work like gates on a fence. They open only one way and only pushed on. Each valve opens and closes once per heartbeat, or about once every second. The beating heart contracts and relaxes. Contraction is called systole, and relaxing is called diastole. During systole, your ventricles contract, forcing blood into the vessels going into the lungs and body, much like ketchup being forced out of a ketchup bottle. The right ventricle contracts a little bit before the left ventricle does. Your ventricles then relax during diastole, and are filled with blood coming from the upper chambers, the left and right atrium. Then the cycle starts all over again. Your heart is nourished by blood too. Blood vessels called coronary arteries extend over the surface of your heart and branch into smaller capillaries. Your heart also has electrical wiring, which keeps it beating. Electrical impulses begin high in the right atrium and travel through specialized pathways to the ventricles, delivering the signal to pump. The conduction system keeps your heart beating in a coordinated and normal rhythm, which in turn keeps blood circulating. The continued exchange of oxygen-rich blood with oxygen-poor blood is what keeps you alive. So all of that is this. So, do you want to show that now? Okay, it goes through. You gotta, in your mind, just think, this is blue. I couldn't paint it blue, so this is where it's not oxygen. It's not oxygen rich. I can't say oxygen and date, sorry. It's
Oxygenated.
oxygen, okay. It's going to start on and it's going to go, through the right atrium, then we're going to go through the tricuspid, and then it's going to travel to the right ventricle, then into the pulmonary valve, which is going to go to the lungs. Sorry. Yes. Into the pulmonary artery. Sorry. And there, lungs. And then it's going to get oxygen. It's going to become oxygen rich. And then we're going to have red blood. And it's going to go through the left atrium, through the mitral valve, then through the left ventricle, and then through the aortic valve. And it's going to go through the aorta. And you see it's got beautiful purple lungs. There's some crazy lungs there. But this is where it's in the mitral valve. I wanted to do this before we got into the mitral valve of, insufficiency, because you knew this part, and it's where the mitral valve is this is the valve that doesn't close properly, and you get a backflow for that. And you can see, I think it's really, really nice job, right, guys?
You did an awesome job, Heather.
It actually worked. It should have more tubes, I know, but I did build it, and it did not work. So then we have to kind of leave it. There's extra tubing, and Huh? No, it's water with food coloring. So, but that's how that runs. They can take for a show now.
Great. So, like she said, the mitral valve is in the middle of the left atrium and the left ventricle, which is right here. And what it is it's pretty much the tissue is either damaged or you could be born with it, so it's congenital, or it could be from you having high blood pressure. Another thing is if you had rheumatoid fever, you could get it also. So once this tissue is pretty much a leaflet, it's the tissue is damaged, so once the blood starts pushing down, it won't close, so the blood will start flowing back into the left atrium and back into the pulmonary veins. And that's when a lot of people will start getting accumulation into the lungs, fluid accumulation into the lungs, because it's not closing right. So this is how it looks, and this is a normal one, and you see the difference on this one where it's a little bit bigger, it won't close. So like you said, it's a backflow pretty much. the valve doesn't close right, and it goes back into your heart, back into the left atrium, and then trying to go back into your lungs. We could have timed this for some reason. Again, that's just pretty much what I said. And extra. Then some of the symptoms are heart murmurs. When you go to your doctor regularly, he'll notice that you'll have a heart murmur. You'll have shortness of breath, especially when you're lying down. You'll have fatigue, especially when you increase your activity when you're doing exercise or running after your little kids, or lightheadedness. And then you'll also start coughing at night or when you're laying down. Heart palpitations. You'll have the sensation of your heart beating really fast, and it's kind of like just fluttering. Swollen ankles, feet, and access urination. This is where it comes into a problem, because you see those symptoms and you see those symptoms and you kind of think, oh, right away it's diabetes, because you have a swollen legs, it's, fluid accumulation and excessive urination. So a lot of people will start confusing it, and it could be that they have a mitral valve insufficiency. Okay, and some causes of mitral valve insufficiency could be heart attacks, untreated syphilis, high blood pressure, having heart tumors, and swelling of the left lower chamber, and endocarditis. Sorry, I'm trying to break. Okay, and some diagnoses that you can do for this. You can take a common test that can be done so you can detect it is an echocardiogram, which uses sound waves to help your doctor get a close look at the mitral valve and see how it's working. And second, you could do the EKG, electrocardiogram, which in this test, you use patches that you put in the heart like we did on the dummy. And then they measure the electrical impulses given by the heart and let you see the rhythm and the regulatories of the heart. And you can also do a chest x-ray, which lets the doctor see the size and the shape of your heart, determine whether the left ventricle is enlarged, and you get a closer look at your lungs and see if your lungs are backed up with blood. Some surgeries you can do is a mitral valve repair, which is a surgery repairing the tissues around the mitral valve, including the annulus. And a mitral valve replacement is also another one, which is a mechanical steel replacement, which will require patients to be on anticoagulant medication. And it's also it's a tissue replacement from an animal, but if you do a tissue replacement, you don't have to take any anticoagulant drugs if you decide to do that surgery. And the prevention for it is the only way you can prevent it is by detecting rheumatic fever and having a good and healthy diet, maintaining your weight, cutting back on caffeine and alcohol, checking your blood pressure on a regulatory basis, and going to the doctor on occasional visits.
And the information I had that I was reading, I got most of it from the Children's Heart, the Heart Institute, Children's Heart Institute. That's where a lot of this information came from. I didn't want to I plagiarize, so that's where this came from.